Hey guys, it's Natalie. So now this is over to the second part of the video, or first part if you're watching this first, on my two-part little series, which is eyeshadow primers, which is eyeshadow bases. So I just did the eyeshadow base video right here, so I have all these swatches on my arm. And today over on this video we're going to be talking about the eyeshadow primers and just kind of what's the difference between the two and what's this one's job compared to the other one. So eyeshadow bases, the main job of an eyeshadow base is to really just kind of give the vibrance of the shadow, or like I said on my video, you can use it to kind of alter the color of an eyeshadow. Eyeshadow primers have kind of two main jobs to them. So it is to help prevent creasing on the eyeshadow. Eyeshadow creasing is, kind of as your shadow wears throughout the day. Sometimes it happens quicker than others depending on the shadow and the product. That it will start to gather right here and just kind of wear off in certain places and gather in that crease area. And you don't want that. It's not the most attractive thing, and just kind of, it can look a little bit messy, a little bit sloppy if your eyeshadow kind of starts to move around and shift. So that is one part of an eyeshadow primer. The other part is to help the shadows last. So eyeshadow bases and eyeshadow primers can actually be used to combine, and together they can help your eyeshadow really last for a great amount of time so that your eyeshadow looks just as amazing at the end of the day as it did when you first put it on. So what I do when I apply my eyeshadow is, first of all, I start with the eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to show you guys on my hand. We're going to be showing you how it looks when you just use the eyeshadow primer, and then also if you use a base on top of that. So let's go ahead and do that. And you want to get it all over the area where you're going to be applying the eyeshadow and everything. And you want to make sure that you're evenly blending it out. You don't need a ton of eyeshadow primer. I'm not sure if people really mention this. You just need enough so that when you blend it out, then it's going to cover everywhere. You don't want to have a super thick layer. And this one, it's, comes out and it's kind of like a cream or flesh tone color, but as you blend it out, it becomes clear. And it gives sometimes like a little bit of like a white cast, but most of the time, it'll be okay. So you want to make sure that it's evenly blended out and distributed. The main areas when you're applying eyeshadow primer, you want to focus on the crease area and make sure that you bring it in all the way in this inner part. On me, where I first start to crease would be the inner part, so I definitely want to make sure that I get it in that area. Then also make sure you just get it all over the lid. Sometimes you want to make sure, depending on how oily your skin is, or just, the products that you're using, to get it all the way up to right under your brow bone. But usually if you get it in this general area here and in the crease, then you're going to be okay. Now I'm going to be adding the same two eyeshadows that I actually just used in the bases video on top of this. So first, let's just try it without any base and see how these shadows adhere. So the first one I'm going to be using is this e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow, and this is the one in Bark. And just take, a regular eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to be patting it down on top of that primer. Alright, so that's how it looks right there. And I did put some primer right here. On the bottom right here, though, we put nothing. So let's see how it looks if I just put some eyeshadow there. Alright, so you see that it does kind of show up, but it's not really like grabbing onto anything, sticking down. This one, it's not grabbing on a lot, but you can see it applies more evenly than if you just put it on nothing. And now I'm going to be doing the other colors. So this gold color that I used earlier, this is a Hot Topic Baked Shadow, and this is just like a gold one. Alright, so kind of the same thing, you can see a little bit here. It's a little bit more even, and then down here it's just kind of like chilling on top of the skin. And then now I'm going to be applying the blue one. Alright, so the blue one, just kind of without a base, it's just not having it. It's just kind of like a whatever shadow. So I'm going to be using just a cream product. This is a cream concealer, and it's by Revlon Photo Ready, and I'm going to put it on top of that product. Now sometimes if you just use a base, especially if it's like a really soft creamy base, and you don't put an eyeshadow primer underneath, it is going to crease super fast. So even though you do have the cream product there, you're putting shadow on top of it, it's still going to crease because of the cream product. But if you put the primer, and you want to make sure that you let the primer just kind of like set, so it's not going to be the wet consistency. When it comes out of the tube, it's wet. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place right now. Sorry guys. When it comes out of the tube, how it is this, consistency that you can touch it, you can feel it, you can move it around. You want to make sure that it dries on your skin so it almost has like a little bit more of like a powder finish and it's dry to the touch. That means that the primer has set. So wait till it gets to that point and then put the cream product on top. But it's going to help it because once you put the powder shadow on top of the cream product, because you already put the primer and then you put the cream and then you put the shadow, just kind of each thing is setting each other. So the primer sets the cream base and the cream base sets the powdered eyeshadow. And so it just kind of helps it last throughout, you know, the whole day until the point where you actually take the products off. So now I'm going to show you how these shadows are going to apply on top of this cream product that is on top of this eyeshadow primer. So I'm talking a whole bunch right here. Let's get going and see how this all does. Alright, so there is the finished product with primer, with base, and with powdered shadow. Can you guys see the difference of how these are? This is why I suggest that you guys use, you know, both the eyeshadow primer and also an eyeshadow base, because it just makes the products look so much more amazing and stronger. And not only will your eyeshadows be vibrant, they will last way longer this way, and that your eyeshadow looks can look amazing. And when someone comes up to you at like 10 p.m. at night and you're like, you know what, your shadow looks awesome, you're like, thank you. And you will know it is because you took these extra steps to get it to be that vibrant, that it looks that amazing way later on through the day. So just look at the difference. This is with primer, base, powdered shadows. This is just with the primer alone. So you can see, I mean, it still does work, only with the eyeshadow primer, just not as awesome as this. And when you just put it on your skin, this is the difference. So by using these extra little products, it is a little bit longer because you're taking a few more steps, but I mean, it can make such a difference. So my favorite eyeshadow primer is the one by e.l.f. because it is super inexpensive and it works for me, but different primers work differently for everybody. So some other pretty popular ones, they're a little bit more pricey, but they work, you know, really amazing, are the Urban Decay Primer Potion. That one you can get over at Sephora, or also I believe they have it still at Nordstrom Rack, and it's like way cheaper over there. Also Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Also there's one by L'Oreal, I think it's called the L'Oreal Decrease or something like that. And also Wet n Wild just came out with one, and it's like their Fergie eyeshadow primer, and so those are like a few, but there's lots of different ones out there, and just kind of try them and see which one works for you. Some eyeshadow primers work better for people that have drier skin, some work better for people that have more oily skin. So you kind of just have to try them and see which one works for you. But like I said, this one's only $1, so it's pretty like inexpensive to try out. The L'Oreal one, I think it's not super expensive. I have no idea how much it really is. I want to say it's probably around like $5, $6. And then also the Fergie one. That one I think is around like $5 or so like that. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Definitely share this video with your friends. Leave any questions or comments down below. And let me know what you guys like to see next. So just try it. Just try it. If you start kind of worried and you're like, I don't know how it'll look, maybe it's a little bit too vibrant for me, then just try it at home and you could always take it off. And yeah. Hope you guys have an awesome day, awesome school year, since everyone's like back to school yet, except for me. I started on the 26th. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.